Checking in on CMG SKX NKE and Tesla. So CMG, the bulls showed up, a little bit of a fake out this morning. We broke 374 and the bulls ripped right after that to the upside. So the bulls clearly are defending the low 370s. So that's a support level to be watching. And in terms of resistance, I'm looking at 385, which was resistance back in mid-December, and then that 387 level, which signaled our bearish trade to the downside back at the end of December. So the 50-day moving average resistance is going to be at those levels tomorrow. So it's worth scouting for a potential rejection from those levels. If we see 387 return to support, we're looking back up at 395 resistance. So I don't really like any trade floating around the 380 level. I either want to see a rejection from the mid 380s or a bounce or a loss off of 375. So those are really the points I'm watching, and anything in between, not really confident in the direction, so would trade something else while waiting for those key levels to be hit. And that's what we did here. When we had this choppy back and forth action, we knew 395 closing above that level would be a bull signal, and we knew closing below 387 would be a bear signal. So didn't play it, and don't think many people played it at all, which is a good thing here on this tight trading range. And then that clear bear break had really nice momentum to the downside, and the volatility certainly picked up. Weekly time frame, bulls are attempting to maintain this tightening pattern. We have 1, 2, and now 3 higher lows, and we have more lower highs than we can count here, but it's very clearly getting tight, and a break is imminent looking at this weekly time frame sometime in January, I would say. SKX, bulls came out in force here, and we did not reject from that middle Bollinger Band, so we were looking for a potential bearish entry from that point, but we closed just above it by 6 cents. Not a very convincing close above it, but the candlestick is convincing. And with the S&P 500 strength, we know we don't want to be choosing bearish plays when the market is about to hit all-time highs. So the bulls are in control, and we're looking up at the 200-day moving average resistance of 2641, and it does look like that this weekly consolidation was very bullish. The inside candlestick broke bullish, and we are looking back up to the 50-week resistance of 2708. So the bulls are in control of the short term on SKX. Obviously, if we look back at the all of 2016, we're still in a downtrend. But as long as the market is bullish, going to hold off on bearish plays because we want momentum at our backs. NKE also made a bull break. It finally closed over the 100-day moving average resistance after a rejection, still maintaining higher lows and higher highs. 53.35, 53.34. There is a double top there. That's absolutely worth watching tomorrow. If we reject from that point, it's a top fishing bearish entry opportunity. But otherwise, we're watching this middle Bollinger Band because this would be a significant shorter term development and shorter term regarding the year-long trend. We would still be looking for bullish weeks to follow if this middle Bollinger Band becomes support of 52.60 after multiple rejections. So 53.35, and then we're looking up. Next resistance from there is up at 53.93. So if this middle Bollinger Band on the weekly does become support, again, the market is in the favor of the bulls. So these bear names are seeing upside. And it's just going to be a question as to whether or not we get breaks of these lower high patterns or not. And Tesla is clearly a bull. Look at that volume and look at that move today. So this is the resident bear list here, and that's because of the longer term trends. But Tesla on the weekly time frame is turning things around. 236.63 is the next resistance level. We're in breakout mode on the weekly, negating the bearish reversal candlestick. We're going to see an increase in volume. 2 trading days left to go, so we'll have to see how it plays out as to whether or not we are in breakout mode above the upper Bollinger Band on the weekly here by the end of this week. But the trend is very clearly favoring the bulls in a big way over the last month. And the bulls are working on changing this longer term trend. And if we can get above 240.84, 236.63, that will be a very successful bull break here. And let's zoom out a little bit more and get a more overall picture here. So we have plenty of lower highs to still be watching, plenty of higher lows. So the range is continuing to tighten. Let's actually draw some lines here. Let's see just how clear pattern currently is, hitting a couple lower highs there. Gonna hit some of these higher lows. So there's still plenty of space in between those trend lines to bounce around. And I just want to extend this trend line a little bit, see what it would look like from a different positioning. Always fun to draw around I don't like it from this position because it would be way up here. So I'm going to keep an eye on that longer term trend, but it's certainly not relevant at any point in the next couple of months. So it's all up to the bulls and 236.63, and the daily time frame is getting overbought. But a new very key support level is established at 210.96. Bulls in full control, looking for continuation tomorrow with the strong close here, especially that volume. That's why we're looking for continuation tomorrow. Very big volume backing up this move. We'll check back in and see how it plays out. Have a great night.